Wait. Antifa beat a man to death? Nah. No, it can't be. Antifa beating people to death and that. Why? Well, let's have a look. Let me, I have to put these on now.
So, Antifa in France.
Let me put these on. In France, did he say? Yeah, in France, Antifa activists have been accused of beating a man to death at a hard left politician. It looks like it's cropped out there. With footage being shown of a gang of people. Something as they lay on the ground. Let me have did it connect? I don't even know.
Have just beaten a man to death. Antifa activists have been accused of beating a man to death at a protest against a hard left French politician, with footage showing a gang.
A hard left? Ain't that part of his crew? Ain't Antifa left? I thought Antifa was left.
Gang of people attacking victims as they lay on the ground, which is, Antifa's modus operandi. France's government said on Sunday the ultra-left was behind the fatal beating of 23-year-old Quentin Durand after the killing inflamed political tension ahead of March.
So there's ultra-left, there's hard left, there's far left, then there's left, then there's left-leaning, then middle, I guess. What the fuck? I'm hard left, bro. Nah, I'm ultra left. Even the ultra left have killed the hard left. It's what?
Local I don't know. Elections. Durand, a French youth aligned with the hard right, died of his wounds after being attacked.
His hard right. So they've made a mistake here in the text, then, yeah. It says hard right there. I'm reading it wrong.
Thursday at a protest against a left-wing politician in the southeastern city of Lyon. An alleged video of the attack broadcast by TF1 television shows a dozen people hitting 3 others lying on the ground, 2 of whom managed to escape. Supporters said Durand had been providing security at a protest against an appearance by Rima Hassan, a good French name that, a member of the European Parliament for hard-left party France Unbound. France Unbound. to
hilarious.
Who? You're just letting everybody in and letting them rape your kids and fuck your country up.
Fucking hell.
Unbound.
That escalated quickly.
When he was assaulted by a gang of rival activists. Durand was hospitalised after the attack and placed into a coma, but prosecutors confirmed on Sunday he had died of his wounds. It was clearly the ultra-left that killed him, said Justice Minister Gerald Darmanin, accusing hard-left politicians, including from LFI, the largest left-wing faction in the French Parliament, of fueling unbridled violence with their language. Well, yeah, of course, for a very long time, they see it as completely A-OK to kill us. They see it as completely A-OK because it doesn't matter if you're a basic bitch conservative or if you are a literal Nazi, you're a Nazi to them. The entire right wing are Nazis. There is no conservatives, there's no basic bitch right wing.
Yeah, a lot of it's got to do with how the media, like I blame, when they assassinated Charlie Kirk, I blame that on the media because the way they're ramping it up, they make it as if the opposition seems like they're evil. They're not humans. These are like ghouls. These are like Nazis. That's how the media portrays them. So the normal person, the more you keep saying something, the more you repeat it, the more they just take it as normal. And then obviously on the hard left or the ultra left, you're going to have like extremists who are going to listen to the politicians and say, yeah, let's actually kill him and that. So that's how this sort of stuff leads up to, I think. It's like media, isn't it? We all know that.
Either
it's not like a mystery
or a left-wing freedom fighter or a Nazi. There's no in between. There's no nuance with them.
Yeah.
And they think it's completely okay to kill you. Right.
The thing is because most of these sort of people, they don't have like opinion. They don't have an opinion. They don't even have. I don't know if they even have the ability. I know every human being has the ability of critical thinking, but they don't exercise that. They don't exercise their ability to critically think. They don't exercise their ability to gain knowledge in the age of information, where knowledge is on your fingertips. Isn't that like ironic, bro? Isn't that ironic? And I think that's the way it would always be anyway. At a time when information, all the knowledge is on your fingertips, That's when humans choose not to gain information because it's readily available. Oh, but back in 1,000 years or 2,000, 3,000 years ago, when information and knowledge was, hard sought after, not much people could read, that's when people wanted knowledge. This is the issue with the human condition, isn't it? Like, here's all the info, now rather not. So you end up being the dumbest generation in the most technologically advanced civilization, generations. It's like, oh, okay, humans doing that human shit again. When in truth, all the human has to do is quickly think. Takes a little bit of work, not much. They don't like the word work, I think. As soon as you hear that you got work and they go, no, feed me the info. I am but cattle. I am but sheep. No, bro. Think. Then you're not human then. You're ultimately telling me you're not human then. Like, what? Every human can critically think. Urge people to critically think.
They think the fact of them running up to you, could be a guy just minding your own fucking business, and they'll run up to you in the street, beat you to fucking death, and they will call it self-defense because you were a Nazi. Right? That's how they basically. These are people.
They justify
I've said this
like
many times before. A lot of these people don't actually even care about.
It tells you a lot about these sort of people, like their mind, the way that their mind operates. You know what I mean? It's like, come on.
Their activism, they don't even look into it. Because you've argued with these people before, and when you try and get them to defend any of their points, they back down immediately, or they block you, or they're like, "You're whatever, chud, I don't do."
Yeah, this is it. This is the issue with these sort of people, because they're unable to communicate. So there's a gulf. There's a gulf between you and I, because they have no ability to communicate. These people can't communicate. They're like extremists and tunnel vision in their view. Like, you're unable to bring them knowledge, or you're unable to even come out of the cave. Stop looking at your shadow. That's not reality. Come out to real reality. Like, that's that sort of vibe. And then they get angry, and then they want to kill you for that. That's what? It's like shit.
Nazis.
And the reason for me particularly, like I won't stop like urging people to critically think, to question things. I'll never stop that, because I love people. That's ultimately what the bottom line is. There's people that have reached these crossroads and gone, you know what? Fuck this, I ain't even going to communicate with people. And they end up being hermits, and they just like shut off. But me, I'm always going to speak about it, bro. Anyone I speak to is always going to be around this sort of subject, the human condition. You know what I mean? You've got to critically think in every facet of life. Critically think, or you will be led by the leash.
And they don't defend their ideas because they can't, right? And everybody thinks...
Bro, sorry to rant. I'm still ranting. But, like, that's why you have to give thanks to those that come before. Because they've given us this freedom now that we live in. This wasn't always like it was. It wasn't always like this. Especially freedom of thought and freedom to express yourself. That never was a thing. There's many that died for stuff like that. So I honour them people too. Look at what we got now. Look how great we're living now. You know what I'm saying? I have to give thanks. And then, like, after all of that battle that they went through for us to gain this independent thought, to have freedom of speech, to do these things that we take for granted, we don't use it. It's like, what?
It's because they're stupid.
Loads of people are sheep.
There's a much more nefarious...
Loads of people are sheep. They must be led. That's what I've started realising with a lot of people. A lot of people, they have to be led. They can't lead themselves. They become petrified. You say to them, you're free. You open the cage, you open the door, you go to them, you're free. You're a free person now. Go, exist. They can't shut the door, shut the cage, put the leash back on. They need to be led. I'm not one of them. Definitely not one of them, bro.
Stupid, but there is a much more nefarious reason why they do it. It's because they don't actually care about the activism. The point is, they are awful people with violent
victimism.
Urges, you can't just
they play that victim, they got a victim mentality complex. It's mad.
Around assaulting random people, because then that makes you look bad, because one thing they also are is egotistical. So how can they protect their image and stuff like that, their image and their ego, while also getting to act out their violent urges? I know I will demonize a person to the community and make them look so awful, so terrible, so bad, and then I will do it. That way, instead of me looking like a fucking violent arsehole, I will be praised and loved by everyone. It's just ultimate narcissism. That's what it is. It's ego. These people want to do bad things, but they don't want the social consequences that come with doing bad things. So basically, they've had to rewrite reality to make it look like the bad thing they're doing is good.
It's actually a good thing, yeah.
Right? That's why they do it. So basically,
it's actually madness. If you deep that, it's madness. That is insanity. You know, that's insanity. We can't let that in society. We can't make that normal. That's retarded. That's like fucked. That's not what we worked for.
Basically, the one thing as well is, I'm not going to go down this path in this video, but one thing that someone said to me is, you've all spoke to them, you've all argued with them, you've all seen them at the protests, and you've seen that vacant look in their eyes, like it's not really a person that you're talking to. So, yeah. And then all of these people have been possessed by this certain thing, and whenever you're arguing with them, remember, you're never arguing with them, you're arguing with it.
Yeah.
Right, it's called an egregore. Look it up. But anyway, words can kill, the man added, accusing Hassan and LFI leader Jean-Luc Mélenchon of not having a word to say for the family of the young man. They're probably happy they beat him to death. Interior Minister Laurent Nunez echoed the accusation, telling public broadcaster France 2 the ultra-left was clearly at the helm in the attack. Speaking after Darmanin's comments, Mélenchon voiced his shock at the killing. We also send our empathy and compassion to his family and loved ones, he said. Mélenchon, a three-time presidential candidate widely expected to run again in elections next year, added that his movement opposes violence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. We love Antifa, but we oppose violence. Shut the fuck up.
They love it.
He rejected the blame placed on it as lacking any connection with reality. Investigators are working on identifying the perpetrators, the Lyon prosecutor's office said Sunday. An investigation has been opened into suspected aggravated manslaughter. I heard shouts, people were hitting each other with iron bars, and so forth. A witness...
They brought out the iron bars and that. Smash him in the head with an iron bar. Kill him.
To the attack, who gave only the first name Adem, told...
That's what I'm saying. Like, the biggest killer is ignorance. Like, the biggest killer is, like, lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. And, you know, the ability to like, communicate. It's lack of all of these things. So, like, we can safely say then there's probably a failure in education. What is this? Like, what actually is this? Or is this like an individual issue that some people are just born like that? No, I refuse to believe that. I love people too much to believe that. I can't dismiss someone and be like, oh, it's just a dumb shit. No, like, you can like wake up. Like, you can come, you can understand. You can, you know, from the darkness, you can walk into the light. From dark to light, come on. Like, you know. And also, I won't be able to enjoy the light without you. That's simply what it is. We all need to be together. Because we all essentially are one. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? So it's like difficult for me to just dismiss and that. Although I do a lot of times I do. But I'm always thinking like, you know, in which way can I approach this better? In which way can, you know, in which way can I instill hunger in someone? Like a hunger for knowledge, a hunger for the wonder of life, like the wonder. Because ultimately none of us knows. You know what I mean? Ultimately no one knows. This is all, in the grand scheme of things, this is all speculation, really. So, you know, ultimately it's like, you know what I mean? It seems to be those that are willing to learn knowledge and those that are not. Those that are ignorant. Those that are like ignorant and claim to know everything. This is like what the war is. This is the battle of these spirits. These essences. This is the essence of utter laziness and ignorance. And the other one is like for progress and, you know, for knowledge. The pursuit of light. And the other one just wants to sit down, it seems. That's just how it seems. You know, obviously, you know, I don't know. I can't know a thing like that. But that's just what my experience is communicating with these sort of people. It's like unwillingness to know. It's like willful ignorance.
AFP. I don't know. When I came to the scene, I saw individuals covered in blood, he added.
They don't want to know.
According to the Nemesis Collective, which is close to the hard right, Quentin was...
And then, like, to communicate with someone who willingly doesn't want to know, you can't earnestly, as a person who's seeking the light, you can't earnestly communicate with someone like that. It will always be surface level. You could never get something deep. That's what it is. Because essentially there's a gulf between you. There's a gulf. There's a whole, you know, your worlds apart. Essentially, it's what it is. So it's about coming to common ground. It's about coming to common understanding. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of division to the people that I speak to, and stuff like that. That's what it is.
Providing security for its protesters and was assaulted by anti-fascist activists. The family's lawyer said in a statement...
And then they beat you up after that. They beat you to death. Oh! That's good, usually. Said no one in history.
Quentin appeared to have been ambushed by organised and trained individuals, vastly superior in number and armed, some with their faces masked. Yeah, that's what Antifa do. That's one thing I have noticed about them. I've been surrounded by Antifa twice in my life, and the one thing that I have noticed is, see if you're ready to go ahead, they shit themselves. I like to remind them, it's like, this isn't Twitter. When I get you on the ground, I am going to jump on your fucking head and turn you into a vegetable.
Fucking hell.
It's like,
ready to kill, killing each other, and humans.
Block me on Twitter, block this, you fucking... but basically, yeah, I've been surrounded by them twice, and twice they've never done anything. I've had a few that have been kind of brave enough to come up and like try and say something to me in the street, at which point I just start calling them slurs, and then they're like shocked and everything. Like, yeah, like that's the thing is, like, on their own they're pussies. On their own they're absolute pussies.
That's it. And also they think, like, these sort of weirdos, these Antifa lot, they think that in real life people communicate to them like online. No, this is where they come to a big realization. And that's why they come with iron bars and all that and beat you to death. I mean, okay.
Like Neds from back in the day, where Neds used to think they were really, really tough and fucking strong and great big badasses because 12 of them jumped one guy and everything. That's Antifa. Right, you've seen them. They're skinny little fucking losers, right? Which is why they need about 20 of them all armed with fucking bats and clubs and blah, blah, blah. And that's the thing is, they'll never go up against equal numbers. The one time that I've seen them actually do that was that march that happened in Australia, and they got fucking lamped. They got the shit kicked out of them, right? And that's the thing is, I've even seen less numbers take on, greater numbers of Antifa and still win. Right, so this is what they do. They get the person on. I guarantee you that there was only one person probably brave enough to go in and get this guy on the ground, and then as soon as they fell on the ground, that's when they all came in.
Doomed.
I mean, I'll fight Nazis, but not if it means I might get punched. When they might punch me? You think they might punch me? Like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, yeah, but that's what they do. I've been surrounded twice, and twice I've not done anything.
They're nuts.
And all that. That's the thing is, if you're ever surrounded by Antifa, just lamp them. Just fucking lamp them, right? You're in a very, very dangerous situation where you might be beaten to death, like in here. So see if they surround you, just do what you have to do. Do what you have to do to get out of that situation. That might be very, very violent, maybe a little bit gruesome. People might have to lose an eye, but hey ho, as they say, it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. But anyway, the incident has further fueled tension between France's hard right and hard left ahead of municipal elections nationwide in March and the 2027 presidential race. Three-time presidential candidate Marine Le Pen, who is still hoping to stand in 2027 despite a graft conviction, condemned the barbarians responsible for this lynching. Demonstrations called by the hard right in memory of Quentin took place in the southern city of Montpellier and Paris, where protesters unfurled a banner reading Antifa murder.
The French history is deadly. French history is it's got some stuff in there.
Justice for Quentin.
Some stuff in there.
A march in his honour has been scheduled for Saturday in Lyon. Now, this guy wasn't really a Nazi or anything like that. I heard he was actually defending a bunch of women, because one thing that Antifa love doing is attacking women. I've seen it happen in front of me multiple times. They fucking love attacking women.
So it's like the weak, innit? Preying on the weak, preying on the vulnerable and that. Women and that. Oh.
But these are the feminists, by the way. Like, they fucking love attacking women.
That's why they're feminists, innit? Because they're equal. They don't know what actually a woman is. So to them, they're seeing a man. So that's deadly. You know what I mean? You got to sit down and ask yourself, are these people safe in society? And come to a conclusion.
Right, I guarantee you that even though they've killed a man and this is meant to be a remembrance for him and for his family to get some closure and some peace and everything, they're going to protest it, they're going to attack it. They are. Why? Because they're scumbags. Basically, just to ask yourself, what would a scumbag do in this situation?
Now, what you got to do is just send out them serious police officers with the armor and all of that. Just send them guys out. They get a wage. We pay for the taxes and that. We're chipping into that. Send them in there. Send them guys in there to stop them, and arrest them, arrest them, because these guys are killing people. Just go there, arrest them. If you have to use force, then yeah, use force, and be aware, because again, we know these people are killers. They're killers, so
and that's what Antifa
be careful.
Would do, and everything. What was it? Didn't they nearly kill an old man in Sweden? Because they went up and firebombed his house with him inside it. Luckily, he managed to get out the back door, and he was just a random old man. They got the wrong fucking house. They got the wrong fucking house, and they nearly burned an old man to death. Yeah, these guys are scumbags. They're total scumbags.
Deadly.
The hard right has blamed the killing on La Jeune Garde, Young Guard, and anti-fascist youth offshoot at the LFI. Because if there's one thing that's definitely not fascist, it's outright murdering your political opponents. That's definitely not fascist in any way whatsoever. But its founder, Raphael Arnault, an LFI lawmaker, expressed his horror at the fatal beating, and the group denied involvement, saying it had suspended all activities. Well, if it wasn't you and you've denied all involvement, why have you suspended all activities? Why? Is it because you fucking asked around and went, holy shit, it was us? What the fuck are you guys? No, it's too late now. You've killed a guy. Antifa have killed a guy.
Dead.
In fact, they've killed more than one person.
He's
a lot
dead.
of people don't know. There's other people.
What's happening, DJ?
And all that. This is just
how we doing? I hope you're well. Yes, bro. I hope you had a good lunch.
LFI lawmaker Eric Cockrell, speaking to France Info, condemned all political violence.
They end up killing a man.
But said the activists responsible for Hassan's security were in no way involved in what happened. He pointed instead to a particular context in Lyon marked by violence from far-right groups. Oh yeah, the far-right man gets beaten to death. But it's the far-right's fault, yeah. The far right, it totally wasn't the elective act. Look what you made us do.
Fuck. That's fact.
Shut the fuck up.
That's a fact.
Centrist president.
It was your fault, man. As a righty, man. You shouldn't have not been the right. You're making us do this. And so when we beat you to death, ultimately it's your fault. What kind of sickness is this? Left-wing violence equals right-wing violence equals 1 billion. No, we said it wrong. 1 billion. $1 billion. Now, how does he say it, Trump? $1 billion. I can't speak like him.
Emmanuel Macron.
$1 billion. $1 billion. That's not how he sounds.
Macron has called for calm and
that's more like Starmer.
At St. George's Church in Lyon, which the young man attended and where he volunteered for charities. Wow, what an evil bastard. I
think I noticed the front of his hat. I'm not too sure where I noticed the front of his hat from. Seems familiar.
Truly see.
I'm not sure
why they wanted to beat him to death. Priest Lawrence Briet called on Sunday for prayers for the peace of Quentin's soul. Everything in its own time.
Yeah, extremists on all sides. It's 100%. Yeah, you can see that. On this particular occasion, you got the left wing here, killed a man. You know. The right wing were killing men and that. Killing each other. They're killing each other. It's the human shit. All about groups, yeah. That's why it is. It's always that. It's them extreme few that end up ruining it for us all, innit? Them extreme few that end up ruining for us all. I swear, and I call them the ones that are willfully ignorant. Because they're unwilling to gain the knowledge that is out there. The knowledge is out there. The information is out there. And you know what it is? The information is out there and you can find it. With a little bit of work, you can seek the information. You do not have to be fed it. You know what I mean? You don't have to be fed it because as we know, the media has its bias too. We know that they've been bought. We know that the information is biased on both, so you can't really trust that either. Nor can you trust independent commentators, even though the independent commentators are becoming much more popular nowadays. But always urge the human to think critically and to seek for their self the answer. that is right and just and good and right. You know, that's essentially what this pursuit is the pursuit for truth, right? It's the pursuit for truth. And that's the issue. That's the issue. It's the humans that are unwilling to gain the knowledge, to understand and be ignorant, willfully ignorant. It causes an issue. Yeah. It 100% depends on the person. Yeah. This is the individualistic issue. Yeah. But it's when them people, them ignorant people, when they get together, that's when it gets dangerous. When you get these groups. That's when you get these fucking groups. And these ignorant people, like you said, DJ, I 100% agree, they're on both sides. They're left, they're right. They're Christian, they're Muslims, they're Jews, they're black, they're white. Humans is what they are. But the defining thing, in my opinion, is the lack of wanting to understand, is the lack and hunger of the pursuit of knowledge. That is an ignorant person. And I think it's like, you know what I mean? It becomes an issue. It becomes because you're not willing to learn. You're not willing to understand. Yeah, case by case. Yeah, 100%. It's an individual issue. It starts. Yeah. Yeah, but we're talking about binary thinking, but about a spectrum filled with democratic positions, and those who act as extremists are somewhat outside this spectrum. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that's what we're saying. Because it's like, we can be civil about this. And I think like being civil comes again from, I think, a place of love. It has to. It has to come from a place of love, because it's like, we're going to respect you, we're going to understand each other. But we've got to be willing to understand. This is what we've got to do. We've got to be willing to understand. And there is facts. There is facts. So there is truth. So that's what we can aim to hit. Collectively is aim to hit the truth. Not a fantasy and not like a non-reality. That's where it becomes the issue, because the opposition or the ignorant ones, let's just call them the ignorant ones, they're aiming for a target that actually does not exist in reality. So we can't, like, it's like, what? So obviously there's gonna be a fucking friction, because it's like, you're saying there's no women. You're telling me a man can get pregnant? No, you know what I mean? It's just simple stuff like that. If you're dogmatic and fundamentalist in your beliefs, there is no room for discussion. But not all extremists but not all extremists and violence and or dogmatic. Okay, it's a problem of binary thinking, and not many Democrats are as violent as Republicans and Tories. Oh, that's born on the data. I mean, we're doing discussion here, and because we're doing discussion here, we're no extremists, because extremists would never do discussion. This is the issue. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's where we begin to know. That's where we begin to know the ignorant ones. They begin to show their colour, because God is great. God is great in that He will always shine the light, and you'll be able to see the dark. So when you see the ignorant ones willingly not able to discuss, to come to the table. To come to the table is an act of love, I think. To be able to say, let's come to the table and talk. Let's be able to come to the table and find some sort of common ground. I think that's got to be founded in love or understanding and tolerance, and ultimately I think we got to be able to be like, bro, we got to sort this out, because we can't be so dumb to be like continuously opposing each other, no matter what it is. You know what I mean? There is always common ground. Yeah. So extremists are ignorant, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I'm saying. Historically, many extremists had to be violent to achieve justice. Be it Mandela, Cromwell, or anyone you can think of. No, I understand that, but that's like, that's something else. That's like a revolution. That's a revolution in thought. I think that's something else. But I think, and again, I would, death in the pursuit of truth is not right. It's not to excuse that. No, it's wrong as well. That's totally wrong. Like, all the men and women that died for us to have this freedom of speech that we have now, that wasn't right that they died. Hell no, it wasn't right. And again, I would put it down to the ignorant ones that caused their death, because they're not willing to understand the truth. They're not willing to understand and see the light. Ultimately, that's how I would see it. You know what I mean? I would say always throughout history, you would see the colours and the markings of the ignorant ones. You will always see them. They're very extreme. They're unable to sit. They're unable to talk. They're unable to discourse. They're unable to do that. They're unable to discuss things and come to the table because they're extremists at heart. Why? Why? You know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of people are thinking.
Time now is for compassion, for respect, for prayer, for letting the police and the justice system do their...
And you know, sorry to pause, but you know why it ends up always a vicious cycle, because they end up going, why, until they have to. There's a point where we can't take it no more. There's a line, there's a limit. There's like a limit. And then the people just explode. People explode. And then that's never right, because then all losers... You're all losers. Look at us. We're doing it again. Yeah. All losers, the lot of you. That's how it ends up being. So, like, always discourse has to be open. We have to be able to come to the table and talk. Look what they done to Charlie Kirk, the guy that used to say that. It's like, come on. You agree or you disagree or whatever. I don't care if you loved him or you hated him. I don't care, man. I don't care. I particularly didn't know him. I only knew him from clips. Until after he died, I went back and watched his footage and thought, bloody hell, okay, so they kill the ones that are seeking the light. Oh, all right. That's what these lot do. It's like, whoa. Big eye opener. The guy that used to say, come to the table. All right, so he's the target, guys, kill him. So, you know, what do you do with that? And then again, like I say, there's a limit to it. There's a limit to it. At the end of the day, we're still growing as humanity. But on the other side, we're still making bullets and manufacturing bombs. I mean, they got to go somewhere, right? We got to use them somehow. I mean, we're still very young, but we're growing.
Work, he said. And I believe, as of recording this, 3 of the suspects have already been identified. And that's it. There. Yeah, there's your brave Antifa soldiers.
So then, like, arrest them, innit?
6 of them there.
So, make an example, just arrest them. Any extremist behaviour, just arrest it. Put it down, go, no, we don't do this in polite society, sorry. No, sorry, in this society we don't do it. I'm extremely sorry, but you're going to be arrested for life. And that's it.
Jumping on one guy.
You know, hopefully, you would hope that other extremists would see that and go, it's the same with criminals and the same with anyone that does bad things that we do not like in society. Anyone who does acts like that, we just punish them. And then, hopefully, you know, the others that are thinking of doing extreme acts and unwilling to come to the table and talk, then they might look at that and go, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we shouldn't beat people up who disagree with us. Maybe we shouldn't beat them to death with iron bars. You know, maybe we should go to that table and talk. Let's try and learn to talk. It's fine. Maybe that makes sense, in my opinion. Come on. Or we're going to have people just beating each other up in the street, killing each other, burning, rioting. Oh, it's happening already. Oh, pleasant days, man. Happy days. Technological era, the gayest generation ever. It's great.
I
was there.
You're so brave and you're so tough and you're so fucking
wonderful.
There. And that's the thing is, like, you guys love authoritarian overreach. You love violence, especially state violence, and being used to push your ideology. And
going back to that again, just like what you said there, stems again from media. A lot of this misinformation and ignorance, it stems from media because people love to be fed. People don't want to have to critically think. They want to be fed like cattle. Feed me, daddy. I accept it all. Come on. On any side. Come on. You've got to find it for yourself as a human being. Issue. So then they have biases. I think that's what sort of leads to political violence, is what media pushes. The agendas that media push. I think that leads to a lot of political violence. I think that's not a mystery either. I don't think that's a mystery. I don't think that's like a hot take. I think that's pretty normal.
force, because you can't win
I
it
think
the
that's
honest
normal.
way by just convincing people to come to your side, right? Because your ideas are bad, and anyone with 2 brain cells can see that they're bad, so you can fucking spit the dummy out the pram, and you start beating people into submission until they believe what you want to believe. And that's fine. If that is the rules of engagement, and that's what you want to live by, what do you think is going to happen when a right-wing government is in charge? What do you think is going to happen to you guys when that day comes? Because I can promise you it's not going to be fucking pretty.
It's just a vicious, evil cycle, isn't it? So, you know, this ain't it. That ain't the path that we want to be. It's not a path that we want to be going, killing each other on the streets and all of that. So, anyway, that's what's going on. That's what they're busy with annihilating each other. That seems fun, I guess, for them. People die. Yeah, that's the thing. When the Tories are in charge, we know what happens. Ah, shit. Good God help us. Guide us, my lord. Guide us to your light. But yeah, I will pop this video in the description. That was a great one.